Here we go, everybody. We are live. God, this daylight savings time is kicking my butt. It feels like it's 10 o'clock outside right now.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh, dude.
Mess
All right,
me
everybody.
up.
I'm Texas Garden Guy. It is Wednesday at 7 p.m. and this is the garden party. And I don't have a guitar pick. I need some hold music, some call waiting music. Here we go. Guitar pick. All right, here we go. This is the garden party. Oh my god. Arm is okay. This is the garden party. And we want a garden party with you. We talk about the plants that grow and some things you might not know. Garden party. All right, Phil, introduce yourself, dude.
What up, everybody? It's your favorite plant parent and regular parent, juggling both at the same time, back on the podcast. Happy to be back. Get to talk figs, all figs and fruit trees and winter gardening.
Oh yeah, dude.
Awesome.
It sucked that you had to go adult yet last week, and I had the pleasure of getting to be with I got to be with Jason and Haas. Is it Haas Seeds or Haas Tools? I forget.
Hoss tools and seeds.
Hoss tools and
tools. Hoss seeds and tools.
I was with Grow Haas last week,
There you
and
go.
that was so much fun. I learned more about onions in an hour and a half than I've ever learned about onions. It was so much fun. But we have another Alabamian. What do they call people? What do they call people from Alabama? Is it Alabamians?
That's good. That'll work. Call us all kinds of things.
We got a returning guest, one of our favorites. We got Miss Tracy from Just Dig It Farms, and we don't have Gene in the background today either. Usually he's in the background commenting.
He's bummed he couldn't be here.
Oh, he's so much fun. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing good.
Yeah, it looks like y'all just launched a new website this week.
We've had our website, but we just launched our online shop.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's
this
awesome.
has been in the works in my mind for a couple of years, but this has really been in the works for this year. So we're pumped. We got it launched Monday. And it's done so
awesome.
well, we sold out of
Nice.
some things. So yeah, exciting.
That is so much fun. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Because Gene works, but you are full-time content, right? You are. That's fantastic. That's what I learned. Because when I met all of y'all in person at the Great Fall Garden Festival, I met Gene, and I had seen Gene in some videos, but I didn't know much about Gene, and Gene was the coolest. Gene is so much fun, and you were great. And I met some of your kids. I met some of your kids too, and it was so much fun. The only thing missing was Phil. I need to have Phil with me next time.
I know. We missed you, Phil.
My pizzazz.
We missed you. We missed you.
Oh my
Hey,
goodness.
we're gonna do that.
I'm gonna
again
make a
this
trip.
year.
I gotta make it happen.
We're
We're
gonna
gonna do
year.
that again next year, 2025. We're doing the Great Fall Garden Festival again. It is tentatively and pretty positively scheduled for September the 20th.
September 20th.
2025. Y'all got plenty of time to plan.
Yes.
For
Plenty
that.
of time.
Well,
Plenty
yeah.
of
So
time.
did you
You
say
know what? There's
September?
probably a hurricane happening at that time on the
Yes.
Atlantic coast. So I'm just gonna skedaddle out of Hurricane Central and come to you
Yeah.
guys.
Okay.
Did you say September 25th?
September 20th?
20th. Okay, I'm gonna put it on my calendar.
Yeah,
'Cause
put it on there.
Because we're tentatively gonna do the Figtoberfest October 4th, I think, on like the same day. So it's gonna be a good fall next fall. I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
And we're planning on driving that way for spring break. I had so much fun doing all those nursery tours.
Yeah.
And I was kind of on a tight schedule, so I didn't get to go everywhere and do everything I wanted to do. So my wife's a teacher, and I was like, let's just go spring break. Let's drive until we don't feel like driving anymore.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to come that way in March and go towards Florida, and maybe go a little north.
Atlantic Coast. Maybe go a little.
That's the
north
plan.
To
That's the
little
plan,
town
Phil.
called Wilmington.
Yes.
Are you coming
100%.
through Alabama? You think you're gonna come through?
Yes. Especially, yes.
Let's do this. One year we had a bunch of YouTubers here, and we had a party in the potager garden in my garden.
Oh,
And that
fun.
was so much fun. So, like, we might could work it out. Maybe we could have a little party here.
I think that would be so much fun.
Wouldn't that
Yeah,
Ooh,
be
a protege
fun?
party.
Party in the potager.
absolutely. Yeah, we have the dates picked out. It's going to be March. I think March. March. We're going to be driving. I got to meet up on Saturday, and then we're going to on the 15th of March, and then we're going to drive all that week, and then I got to be back on the 23rd. So that whole
Okay.
week. So hopefully it's warm enough
Yeah.
everywhere. I think it will be.
Yeah.
Phil,
Yeah.
it'll be a little cooler where you're at, but I mean, in
That
in
time of
Alabama and
year,
Georgia, we should be okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
call it
March is
the
usually
yo-yo
nice.
weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, us too, but
Mm-hmm.
you never
With
know in March. We could have snow.
well,
It has happened in my lifetime.
I'm hesitant with fall because of the storms that have been coming through. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
All the crazy storms. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I think about some of the Florida YouTubers I met at the festival, and some of
Mhm.
them got hit pretty hard.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
It was pretty wild, So like and even I think Haas had some bad weather at his place at his
He
warehouse or
did.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. There was some tornadoes come through and stuff. And we were kind of on edge for them for a little while.
Oh wow! And then your
Yeah.
son's on in Mobile, right?
He-
one of the,
He's in Florida. He's in Pensacola.
oh, cool. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So he's really had some rough weather. This
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. They've evacuated and came here during Helene.
Oh wow!
But they actually didn't get any damage, thank the Lord. But we weren't for sure, so they came here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm praying for some better weather in 2025.
Yeah.
I think they were even saying something about another hurricane coming out of the Caribbean, like next week, like towards
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's gonna hit it's gonna hit the Yucatan and then like
just dropped below 70, and so that's a little warm for this time of year. Usually it's like mid 60s, and so I can only imagine if it's warmer, residual warmth waters, you still have like hurricane season ends the 15th, 2 days.
Yeah. Man. Oh my goodness. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. We got Haley. What's going on, Haley? Blue Sage as always. Dee Dee. Oh, Phil's in the chat as always too. You must have got a new you must have got a new keyboard because you used to have a really clicky keyboard. Like I got, hey Phil.
It's the microphone. The microphone has taken care of that problem for me, so I can.
Oh, nice.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
Let's see. Well, and you planted some figs this week. So Haley was asking, how big do figs have to be before I can expect my first fruit? I have had fig cuttings that were like 12 inches tall that got fruit on them before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I've had them where they'll put fruit out first on the cutting, and then I kind of let them grow because they can photosynthesize on the fruit themselves when they're green like that.
Really?
Because it has like chloroplasts and stuff in their cells, and but generally, like after a while, you don't want to like feed it too much energy. You really want to make sure that there's at least some buds coming out. But I really bank on the roots. The roots need to come out first. Oh my goodness!
She exists.
I made it.
Oh my goodness!
Yay!
Yay.
Des,
Hello.
you never met Tracy. Tracy, this is Des.
I haven't
This is
met
Tracy.
you. Hi.
Hi, Tracy. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I've
Oh
heard
my
lots
goodness.
of wonderful things about you, but I've never gotten to meet you, and I just think
I
that's
know. I
it's
know.
great.
Yeah. Excited to meet you. I've
Yeah.
been watching some of your content.
Oh, I just cut up on the internet, I think.
I love it. I love it though.
Thanks.
You're so much fun.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
it was so wild when I first met Des because she was nervous, like being like doing live streams and like stuff like that. And I was like, well, come on with us, and her confidence has grown so much, like from growing, like coming on the podcast with us, and she's done so well, and it always makes the podcast lighter when we have her on. So it's always great. So thanks for being on again, Des. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
enjoy it. I really do enjoy being on here. Truly, it's like so much fun.
It is fun. It is a lot of fun. I was so bummed I couldn't be on here last week with Jason and Greg.
Me
I
too.
was so bummed about it, but I was off grid. I had nothing.
That's
Really?
good
You were off
That's a
sometimes.
grid.
good thing, though.
You
Yeah.
disconnected.
I disconnected, man. I totally disconnected. We went to a cabin up in Indiana for a
Ooh.
week. My husband, Gene, is a big deer hunter. So he had this hunting trip planned, and I go with him every year. And we rent a cabin like out in the wilderness and just, just disconnect from the whole everything. It's
Yeah,
Did he
nice.
did he get a deer?
No, he missed it. He missed it. Yeah, it's bow hunting and he missed it, but he
Yeah.
had a blast. I had a good time. It was a good trip.
How was
It's
the weather?
so
Was it
nice to
chilly or was
disconnect.
it warm?
No, it was too hot, and that's part of the reason, the hunting wasn't that great. But yeah, it was a little warm, but it was nice. It was nice.
It's so
We-
hot
Go
here.
away like that.
Yeah.
It's very warm. It was like 85 today still.
Yeah.
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 We have a
Yeah.
cold, we have a cold front coming in on a little one on Friday, which is going to drop down to like a low of 49.
What?
It's just cold enough where I need to bring my desert roses in the garage.
Oh my gosh. We're not
The tropical shuffle has begun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
think this might be the last time I bring them in and out. They're going to probably stay in now. It's how it goes. I'm not even close to be ready to putting the greenhouse top on yet. I'm just so behind on everything this year. It's so wild.
Me too.
That's
Me
why
too.
I'm so excited. I planted all those onions and garlic because like those are something you can just plant it and don't have to worry about it. Like
Yep.
I'm kind of looking forward to that laid back gardening this winter. It's gonna be so nice.
I haven't done anything.
Wait, what garlic have you guys planted? This is my first year doing garlic, and I'm so excited to not have to pay attention to it.
Yeah. Let's see.
But-
I planted music, which is a hardneck. Yes, music is a hardneck, isn't it? Is music hardneck?
I think so.
It is because I only planted hardneck this year. That was one of mine.
I did red. Is it Chestnut?
Chestnut red, yes.
Yes, and I did Spanish Rojas, California, and there's another one mixed in there. Those three are ones that I've been growing for like 8 years. They're my seed garlic that I just keep replanting. But music and the red Chestnut or whatever it is, that is my new ones for the year. I try to add a new one every year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's supposedly hard to grow garlic here, but I do. I grow hard necks and soft necks, and I've got a basket this big that is still good. My garlic is still going good. So I don't know. Yeah.
There's
elephant garlic. We grow elephant
Yes.
garlic, which is technically not a garlic. It's technically a leek, but yeah, I grow all of them. Love garlic, man. We do so many things with garlic.
We do too. I love garlic as well.
So good for you.
Which variety did you get, Phil?
I got music,
Nice.
chestnut red,
Mhm.
and
It must be a
German
popular one this year.
German red.
German red. That's my other one. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I was just curious because I think there were 2 other varieties that I could choose from over at we have a few good plant stores, and this is the local farmer store that I go to, and they were the options, and they were I was so worried I missed the opportunity to get them, but I'm so used to this is my whole thing. Growing up in Pennsylvania, total different growing climate, right? And then I come out of North Carolina, and I don't have to do it in October. I was taught the first full moon in October was when you planted your garlic in Pennsylvania. And then I get down here, I'm like, no, I got a few weeks yet. And I was like, okay, and maybe they'll still have some left for me. I went in and I was like, hooray, they're all here. And I was able to grab a bunch. And then I grabbed too much and I filled up. I'm like, okay, well, we'll shove some over here. We'll do some over here. And then, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of the cool thing about garlic, because if you I know I space mine way too close together, but you can move them. You can kind of dig them up and move them around if you need to, depending on the germination rate. I guess it's not germination. I don't know if that's the right term or not. We did the grocery store garlic before, and we had that polar vortex, and it knocked them out. They didn't come back. So we typically would grow like a soft neck down here in Houston, but I did 3 different soft necks, 2 hard necks, the garlic, the elephant garlic, and then just the grocery store as a control group. But I did the chestnut red, Sonoran, Texas sweet, or Texas something. I did a bunch of them though. But I was like, let's see what happens. But the chestnut red must be a popular one this year because I hear everybody's. But that's supposed to be like a super northern, like a cold.
Yeah.
And like a long day or a short day garlic, right? Because it's.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how that one does. They've all sprouted though. They've all come up, which is pretty nice.
I've heard great things about music too. So I was actually.
I have too. I've never tried it. So I'm excited about it.
You know who talked about Jacques in the Garden? I was like in his description of music. Yeah.
He's really nice. He sings really nice.
Yeah.
Yep. No, and like you were saying, like a little bit of garlic goes a long way. I ordered a half pound of 5 different varieties, and that was a lot of garlic. That was a lot of garlic, man.
That is a lot of garlic.
Did you run out of space? And you're like, I'll just eat the rest of these.
Dude. So I did a 4x2 sub pod bed out of fabric, and then I did a 15-foot raised bed of all garlic, and then I had a bunch left over, so I just gave it to my dad and like, here, stick it in the ground. So I was like, take it.
It's nice to have a dad or family nearby
nice to have a dad with
unload
land.
on.
To share.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Dad, we've got your bag. Can you put this in your acreage somewhere? Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I did on Sunday. You know, I had that giant Juanita bougainvillea, and it was literally rooting into the ground, and it needed to be out somewhere in full sun. And so I took it out there to my dad's, and they're going to put it in the ground. And here in the Houston area, if you put bougainvilleas in the ground, they get established. They'll die back, but they'll come back pretty strong.
Wow.
Most places like North Carolina and Georgia, you probably have to bring them in or cut them back and cover them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's probably the same in Des, right, Des?
No.
They die back.
Surprisingly, well, they do die back. But I've planted my bougainvillea in the ground, and it comes back every year. It'll die to the ground and just come right back up. I think I was listening, to be honest, but maybe I missed something there.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good.
You know what I did today? I talked all day long.
Oh my
I was
God.
on my feet. I talked all day long with clients.
I was going to say, I love that term you have as therapy.
Therapy, yeah. We had lots of therapy today. We did talk about some plants today and what's going on, so that's fun. I have I have garden interested clients, so that's fun.
Oh, that's a great parlay.
Yeah.
It's always funny at work when someone finds out that you're like a gardening content creator. And then like you're the go-to guy, like, oh hey, I got this, you know. I'm like this, like, well, you know, I don't know anything about boxwoods, but I can Google it just like you can. I mean,
but you know what? We do it to ourselves sometimes. Like when I first started in my new department, this guy brought in loquats. He's like, yeah, it's my friend's loquat tree. And I was like, oh, great, awesome fruit. And I ate the fruit and I kept the seeds. And this sounds all normal to you guys. It's not normal to people who don't garden. So I went and they all germinated and I brought them back to the office. I'm like, here's your seeds back. Your plants now. And I gave 5 trees away. And yeah, it was awesome because my loquat tree is quite big. But it was
like we don't get rid of avocado pits around here. I have too many of those little trees. I've been moving them in and out of the greenhouse nonstop. I'm tired of them. I don't know why. I had like an illness. Like I can't stop propagating. I can't stop growing those little baby avocados. It's ridiculous.
Oh no, it's the same with like fig propagation. And you're like, I gotta prune this tree, and you're like, now I have 50 cuttings.
I'm not gonna waste the cuttings.
I'm not gonna waste these. It's crazy. My parents prune their fig trees up north, and I was like, can you bring those down to me? And they did. So,
dude, I learned so much. I went and did a tour of like one of the biggest like wholesale nurseries in Texas, Creekside Nurseries. I went there on Friday. I'll address I had some comments on Facebook. I'll address that here in a second too, on a post. But I found so many cool propagation methods of the way they do stuff, like lantanas. I'd only ever propagated lantanas from hardwood cuttings, but they had like a whole like little warehouse with ladies that were going through and they were cutting little green cuttings of lantanas and they were putting them in a bushel like lettuce. And they took me to a greenhouse where they have like 40,000 lantanas growing. Like it's so wild.
Wow.
It's so cool. And they took me to their potting machine, like how I haven't posted this on Instagram yet, but like, when you get the trays, like from the Home Depot or whatever nursery or whatever, they have like little 4-inch pots in there. They'll use just the trays and not use the pots that go in there. And I was like, that is so smart because the trays will warp and rip, or the pots will rip and warp. And so I've got a ton of these trays. And so I was propagating figs tonight and I was just using the trays. I'm like, this is pretty sturdy. This is actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I want to address that real quick for anybody who I posted a picture, and I am not as well learned and well knowledgeable on like pollinator plants for like certain butterflies. I was walking through one of the greenhouses, and it was one of their vining greenhouses, and they had like different vining plants, and I was like, oh, kind of cool. And I was walking through, and I go, oh, that's that. Dutchman's pipe, the big purple flower, and I was like, that is so neat. And I looked behind me, there's like 1,000 of them. And I'm like, wow, that's so cool. And I took a picture and I didn't think anything of it. And then like the next day I posted on Instagram and it shared to Facebook. On Instagram, I don't think anyone looked that far into it, but on Facebook, man, the native plant people came out of the woodwork on me. I will acknowledge the native plant community are a very good people. There is a very large vocal minority that attack people online. And I usually don't even acknowledge the comment section because it just gets so hairy, but I felt the need to address it. So that variety of pipevine is a non-native from Brazil or whatever. And apparently it can be toxic for the pipevine butterflies that can't tell the difference. There's conflicting data that I've seen online, whether it's toxic or whether it's just not preferred. Either way, they can't tell the difference between the native and that one. And so in nurseries and like observatories and conservatories around the world, they keep them under glass and keep the caterpillars off them. They keep them blocked off so they can just be observed for their beauty.
Wow.
And so I did bring it to the attention of Creekside, and I did reach out to them and let them know there were some native varieties that some of the native people have brought to my attention. I had one of the native varieties, the Tomika or whatever variety, Tomeca, I think, which is good for the pipevine. It's a native.
Tormentia.
Tormentia, yes.
Yeah.
It's a little one, yes.
Yeah.
So on that one, I will, anytime I'm wrong, I will say I'm sorry. Anytime I'm wrong or say something like that, I will make sure that, we're all learning as we go. I'm not like a classically trained or like university trained horticulturalist, so I'm learning as I go sometimes. So I appreciate people, correcting me and, being nice about it. I don't appreciate people being hateful in the comment section. Like I should be ashamed of myself. I should, it's some of the stuff was a little ugly, so I addressed that. Like I said, I do appreciate people correcting me and, learn. I want to learn from the situation. But there are ways to go about it. And typically native plant people don't know the right etiquette of going about most of them do. There's a small vocal minority that don't. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So,
I think also it's like people should always, this is a good thing to keep in mind. People should always seek to lead with kindness and assume that somebody doesn't know they're doing wrong and that people just inherently want to do good. Yeah. And I think that the online community, especially in the native plant realm, they do more harm by immediately attacking somebody's video than they do by actually seeking to educate them kindly. Now, it's up to the individual who was the original poster to, decipher that and how they take it. But as creators, we can't always be on our game and like promoting because we're all just students of the garden as well. It doesn't matter how long
Mhm.
you're gardening, you're
No.
always still learning. And I just wish
Mhm.
people would understand that when you do that, when you come after someone, and they don't realize that they've done something that's not, that it's wrong, you're not helping them to understand what the right path should be or what the right plant
Yeah.
is or why this plant is wrong. You're just attacking them. And all it's going to do is make people that are already unsure about what to do in gardening less likely to do anything in gardening.
Yeah.
And we need more people to
True.
garden. We don't need less of that.
Right.
Mhm.
So we should just, like, those people that do that, like, I really try not to let them ruffle my feathers too much. They got after me about some lantana, there's been several times that they've done that, and that plant actually, I didn't even really know this actually until this week, and you brought it up. It's like the Dutchman's pipe gigantea or whatever. It has a very striking flower. It also has a really interesting like shape before it opens up. It's a really crazy plant.
Yeah.
But it is very highly toxic. And what I've read actually is that the pipevine swallowtail that uses the Dutchman's pipe as its host plant can't tell the difference between the gigantea and the native varieties of pipevine here in the United States. And what happens is that the larva will die within 3 days of hatching because they're not getting what they need. And it's actually very toxic to the butterfly caterpillars. And the harm is that plant is so also prolific in subtropical areas like Houston, Florida, places like that it will choke out native vegetation and start to hurt the normal flora and fauna of the area. And that's why it's important to talk about that plant as being a bad specimen plant to put in your garden if you're hoping to raise butterflies.
Yeah.
But it's still a very interesting plant.
Right. And as far as I know, it's not like on any like USDA like like
Like an illegal
invasive
invasive.
it's definitely not that, but it is what it is. I don't want to hammer on too much about it. I mean, I feel bad for bringing it up now.
Why?
I don't know, because
well, you know what though, Dustin,
You
I had
shouldn't
no
feel
idea.
bad.
I didn't know. I mean, I think it's
No.
very interesting. I didn't know that there was even one of those.
This is like
Yeah.
that
this is
was
awesome.
Feel bad.
dangerous.
And you
Well,
provided great context.
yeah, I just, usually with like comments like that, I don't even address them. But it was such a large majority, and then I fact checked myself as well, and so I feel like it was necessary to do an update on that post, and
Yeah.
I'm not apologizing because I mean I didn't know, but like I'm always trying to be as conscious as I can, and raise awareness of certain things. Like people can yell at me as much as they want about my Vitex. I'm gonna keep growing it, but it's not hurting
Same.
anything. Yeah, it's not going to kill. It's not going to hurt butterflies. My goal this year is like I want to plant as much stuff to bring as many butterflies in my garden and have certain sections where I don't use any neem oil or anything like that, so that I bring in like the all like with my passion vine, my milkweed, all that good stuff. So it's just sometimes we do bad in the process of doing good. Luckily, I didn't have any of that in my garden. That was actually at the nursery. So,
Well, I hope you didn't think that I was calling you out for anything. I was actually giving you the positive reinforcement.
Oh, no.
I think we should share these things, and I think it's really cool of you that you did that.
I think
it
it
shows that you're the
brilliant
bigger
to bring this up. I
person.
learned a lot just now.
I did too, Phil. I did too.
And if you
I
even
mean,
taught
that's
one
awesome.
person, it's like so valuable. And I just love that about this community. And I think it's a very strong strength of yours, Dustin, that you are willing to admit that.
Oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot.
Nice.
The problem is I'm wrong so often.
Let's be nice to each other. We need it.
That's right. Hey, I think that's just it. Life in general, just be nice. Kindness goes a long way.
That's the Mr. Rogers rule.
That's right. Go, Mr. Rogers. He was right.
Mr. Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, I think so too. I love this. I love this community, and it's so great. And even I sometimes, will put some comments that I delete 5 minutes later. I'm like, I shouldn't say that. We should always just be nice. We should always be nice.
Just be kind. It
Yeah,
goes further than hatefulness.
Absolutely. Especially nowadays.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, that is the exciting thing about gardening and being a gardener. We're never gonna learn everything. I've been doing
No.
this for a long time in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different areas, career, every which way. And I don't know a tenth of what there is to know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what makes it so fun. Every day is learning something new. Every day is a challenge. Every day is, something new to explore, and some new journey, and some new adventure. So,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, yeah, I mean, we're all learning. We're all
Yeah.
students. We're all students of gardening.
I'm
We-
hungry to learn. I get up and
Me
I'm like
too.
excited to learn more
Me
about gardening. I'm
too.
like,
Well,
what are we learning today?
I
and
know, exactly.
and it was funny because we had
Yeah.
Greg on with Hoss Seeds, and he was talking about how he refers to Tracy sometimes when it comes to like herbs, because he says you are the herb master. Like I have the hardest time with like herbs, like just it feels like it's so hit or miss, and
Yeah.
I think Jason hit it last week. He goes, a lot of people try to plant herbs the wrong
Mhm.
time of year. I mean, that's probably
Yeah.
90% of it. You think you want to grow all your cilantro in the spring. Well,
Yeah.
it does better in the fall, and
Mhm.
it's so weird, like maybe like what are some of your favorite herbs? And someone also mentioned fire cider, and I have no idea what that is. I know
Yeah,
you did a
what's
video on it.
Fireside are so
I would love to hear about
good.
that too, Tracy.
Oh, okay. Fire cider it is like an old-timey remedy for colds and flus and coughs and all that nasty winter sickness. It is has anybody heard of Rosemary Gladstar?
Mm-mm.
She's an
no.
herbalist.
Mhm.
Okay.
She is like the herb mama. She kind of coined fire cider, but it really started way before her. And it is apple cider vinegar and honey, which is an oxymel. When you put apple cider vinegar, honey, and herbs together, you create an oxymel, which is a very good herbal tonic for healing.
Oh, okay.
So it's apple cider vinegar, honey, onions, garlic, horseradish. A lot of people use horseradish. It's idea. You can do all kinds of different combinations, depending on what's in your garden. So I just made one with uh, onions, garlic. I used oregano because oregano is a very good natural antibiotic.
Oh,
I use turmeric. Turmeric is, of course, anti-inflammatory, among
mhm.
many other benefits.
Mhm.
What else did I put up at thyme? And thyme is very good for antiviral issues. Um,
This is her book, the recipes,
yes,
the
that's
zest.
her book. That's her book, and she just has the basic recipe in there. That's the honey, apple cider vinegar, onions, garlic, and horseradish.
Oh
And then
wow.
you can just build upon that depending on what you have access to or what's in your garden. And I added a bunch of different herbs to mine because of all of their different healing benefits. I also added some elderberry because elderberry is, super high immune builder, and it's
Right.
antioxidants, so good for you. So you let that infuse for like 2 to 4 weeks, and then you strain off the vegetables from the liquid, and you just take that. And if you take like a tablespoon every day during the wintertime, cold and flu season, it'll help keep them away from you, help build your immune system and fight them off. Or if you do get sick, then you could take like 3 to 4 tablespoons throughout the day, like every 3 to 4 hours, take a tablespoon. And it helps to fight it off like really, really well.
Wow.
So it's
Mhm.
one of those old timey, remedies that I don't know, it's been going on for
But
years and
everything you
years.
mention is very straightforward and from the garden, and
Yeah,
it's
Mhm.
that
yeah,
just makes it
yeah,
even better.
yeah. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Just straight from the garden. And you know what? If you don't have time growing, don't use time. Use something else. So
Mhm.
it's not like you gotta have these ingredients to create it. The main ingredients would be the apple cider vinegar, the honey, and I'm pretty sure the onions, the garlic, and most recipes uses the horseradish. I did not use horseradish in mine because horseradish can have an effect on the thyroid. If you have a thyroid issue, horseradish is not really something you want to take. And
That's
if you
good to
take,
know.
yeah, see, I didn't know that. I did not know that. And I had somebody point that out to me and tell me about it. So I was really glad to find that out because I have Graves' disease and I have to I take medication for that. And horseradish it can be a counter, can cause, issues with the medication. So anyway,
Yeah,
I
Oh,
that's
left
good to
mine
know.
out. I left
I have the
horseradish in
opposite.
mine. Oh, you
I was
do?
gonna
You
I
have
was gonna
Hashimoto's. Oh,
Hashimoto's, yeah.
yeah. They
well,
all stink.
I'm sharing your herb collection, your Haas herb collection.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. We
I
partnered.
Sorry, guys.
We partnered with Hoss 2 years ago and created two different medicinal herb seed collections, the Premier and the Deluxe. And they each have, well, one of them has nine herbs, and the other one has 10 herbs. And I've been doing videos on that ever since the collections and just, showing, growing the herbs with everybody from seed, from start to harvest, to growing it, to harvesting it, preserving it, and using it. So
that's so cool.
that's
yeah, I
really, really
love
cool.
herbs is where I found gardening. That was my very first introduction to gardening was through herbs, and it got me.
I love
It
it.
That's so
got me,
cool.
Well, it's like
captivated me.
instantaneous. Like you go and you grab that oregano or you
Oh,
grab
and
that
that's
basil and you're
it.
like,
You're like,
oh,
oh.
Mm.
And then when you figure out that oregano can do all of these different things for your health and your body, and it's a natural antibiotic, and all these
wow.
things that it can do. Plus, you can eat it, and it tastes really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
it's just like mind blowing. It's really mind blowing.
I really liked the best herb I had all year was the African blue basil and the holy basil.
Yeah,
They are really cool, but
yeah.
what I did not know is how many seeds they were going to drop in
Oh, yeah,
in my gravel and in my bed. I
yeah.
planted carrots and
You
radishes
see.
like that, and I was like, "Oh, look, it's a radish." Nope, that's basil, and there's like thousands of them.
I love
Yeah,
it. I love that abundance. I get so excited.
I do too,
I just
especially when
pick them
they
out and put them somewhere else.
Yeah,
Just like, let me
that's
just
how we.
Oh my
and when they
gosh.
over here.
surprise you the following year in a whole different
Oh yeah.
place, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Whoa, thanks for showing up."
How'd you
yeah.
get over here?
Yeah,
I
just
literally say stuff like that to my plants. I don't know about y'all, but I'm like,
No,
Oh,
I do.
I
I
do too.
have about
excuse me,
50
Oh,
volunteer tomatoes that are coming up after I turn my compost. And I was like,
yeah.
oh, this stuff's so
Gary.
good. I wonder if it's good or not. And then I like put it in the bins, and all of a sudden, all my fig trees have like 8 tomato plants coming up around them. And I'm like,
oh
there we
yeah.
Yeah,
go. And
yeah,
obviously,
Yep.
like
yeah.
every normal gardening person, I'm not going to throw them away. I'm going to
They're
put
No,
them
good
in little
plants.
6-packs
they're
and
good
then put them in
plants.
the greenhouse.
I
Oh,
mean, if you
man.
survived all that and you came up, man, you
Yeah.
deserve to
Yeah,
live somewhere.
You can
exactly.
say.
Right. Well, and it's so funny. Like when you try to start, like I've tried to start basil from seed, like in a
Hmm.
seed starting tray,
Yeah,
and it's not gone well.
really.
But now it's just like I'll probably never not have it ever again because
Yeah,
because
yeah,
because I didn't specifically get it for me to like eat the Thai basil or use it really. I mostly bought it for the pollinators
yeah.
because like the bees were just
They
all
love it.
over the
Mhm.
basil
They
this year.
love
They
it.
love
That's
it.
why I flower it. I don't
Yep.
even care. I'm just like, let it
Although
flower.
this year,
Bitter
my
Yeah.
for
Thai
what?
basil
I
was
don't care.
awesome with eggplant and then like an Asian chili oil. And I
Mm,
dialed in my eggplant because I did this with my
mm.
mushrooms. I was told, and I was like, oh, that's so simple. Didn't I know this before? But cooking your mushrooms dry at first to get the moisture out, and then adding the accoutrement to the dish.
Oh.
I did that with
Ah,
I did that with eggplant, and I diced it
uh-huh.
up and I cooked it dry until the skin was browning and it was kind of getting brown, and a lot of the moisture came out that way. So then when I was able to make a stir fry with it with a bunch of Thai basil and the chili oil,
Mm.
it didn't mush out on me. It's kept its structure, and it was like
Oh,
the and it was the
Hey.
best.
Sounds delicious.
It
Good
was
cooking,
so
kids.
Yeah.
this right here. If y'all have not seen Phil cook, like he does it in his stories. I'm like, dude, record yourself like making food because it would do so well. Because he cooks
Yeah.
so well for
Yeah.
his family. He does.
Yeah.
He cooks so well for his kids and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. I mean, I'm speaking of garlic and basil. Like we had pesto pasta again tonight. We do pesto like twice a week,
I
and
love
Yeah.
pesto.
I do
sometimes we'll have
too.
to store by it too when we run out of it because we just crush the stuff. And I
Yeah.
mince up spinach, and the kids don't know it's in there, and they get
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
spinach,
Yeah.
and then they love it. They count on it. They like it more than red sauce these days in my house. And
Oh, nice.
It's
I
so
just
light.
in her lunch, I put pesto in a fork, and I'm like, enjoy, like have a nice lunch at school, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Can you
What a
use
great
the Thai
dad.
basil? Can you
What's
use the
that?
Thai basil for pesto?
You can
Is
use
it-
a lot of things for pesto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't know it was too overpowering. Like Thai basil is almost like a little more intense than regular basil. I would think. You know, it's
Yeah, the stir fries, it's awesome though. So I do Thai basil. You got your green onions because they grow literally anywhere, and I just go at it.
Literally.
Those two things, a little bit of sesame seed oil and soy sauce, and you got yourself a bomb stir fry just with those
That
simple
sounds
ingredients.
good. Wow.
like a-
Sounds good.
My husband is also a super foodie cook,
He
and
is. Those pictures are awesome. You showed us at one time.
oh my gosh, he's like such a great cook. We do like a Thai sticky rice dish that has like Asian chilies in it. Oh my gosh, it's
Oh,
so
wow.
good with glutinous rice and like chili oil and like all the Thai basil from the garden. He'll just be like, "Go get me some." Or we do Trente al pesto a lot. And I'll just go and get so much pesto and bring it in, and it'll be like several basil in several bowls, and it's one of our favorite things.
I love that you
Yeah.
mentioned
Like
Trinity al
gift.
pesto. There's a Disney movie called
Oh,
Luca.
I know. It's so
You
good.
know
I love that
Luca?
movie. Yeah.
So when my kids twirl their pasta, maybe this is the Italian family in me, but like we're like twirl it like Luca, and they like twirl it like Luca, and like they're like I twirl it like Luca. Oh, like you did great, and then but they have Trinity al pesto in that movie. Yeah,
I love it, especially when I've also got green beans in the garden, because if you make that dish, you can use green beans from your garden and basil to make the pesto and put it all together. It's
beans
just
for
like
pesto,
mind
really?
blowing.
full
It's got
circle. I'm excited for garlic
potatoes.
scapes this spring. Or
Yeah.
this
Have
summer.
you done
Yeah.
garlic scapes before, Tracy? Have you done garlic scapes? Anything with them?
No, I never get them. Never get them.
Oh, really?
Apparently
Because they only
they're
come on
awesome
the.
pesto
I
pieces.
never get scapes.
Why? I wonder
I
why.
don't
They,
know. I
they
never
only
get them.
they only come on the hard neck varieties, right? Only the hard necks.
Yeah, and I've
That's
grown
so
some
weird.
hard necks, and I never get scapes. I always want them. I always look for them, and they never come. I don't know what
It's
I'm
so
doing
wild.
wrong. I mean, I get massive, beautiful garlic bulbs, but I never get scapes. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have no idea.
They've
It's
escaped.
weird.
They escaped. The
It's
scapes
escape.
escaped.
It's escape because it
I'll see you
starts
guys
to
later.
bolt, right? It's when it's about to bolt.
It's about
That's
to,
when the scape comes
yeah.
in.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
really?
is it maybe that the
going
garlic's
to
not chilling
flour.
out there long enough?
Probably. Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
Like
you can
gotta
harvest
like
it at
just
any
leave
point, right?
some out there for a long time, like longer than you expect
Yeah.
you should.
Yeah. Yeah,
Flambe
just don't
with Phil.
harvest.
Yes,
Just
please.
don't harvest and leave it in the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably would rot here though. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
how it
I'm,
would go.
I'm curious to see how mine's going to do this year.
Yeah.
I've grown onions once or twice. I'm not a big onion eater. I don't really like onions that much. I told Phil and Des I was I got like a white trash taste bud, you know, like
Oh my
y'all are
god.
so
Oh,
fancy,
God.
like I
Onions
cook,
is
We
the
gotta get some good
flavor.
food in this man.
I cook meat and vegetables and like steamed white rice. Like that's like my favorite thing. Like I
I
can
try
eat
to
Brussels
grow
sprouts and stuff like that.
365 onions because we eat one
Oh
a
my
day at
God.
least.
Oh, we
Really?
eat so many onions here too. Like
We
Gene-
eat at least one a
Gene
day.
strikes me as a guy who could eat like an onion like an apple. Like
He probably could. I don't know.
it's a texture thing for me. Like I don't know. But I'm growing them this year, so I will try them.
Hey, everything tastes different when you grow it yourself.
This is true.
That is
Everything
true.
tastes different. Much better. Much better.
Yes.
But hey, on herbs, on growing herbs, so are you saying that you have a hard time growing them, or you have a hard time starting them from seed? Like what what were you saying?
Well, for me, it's usually starting from seed, and I think it's getting the right time of year. Like I start
Yeah.
my dill pretty early, and I have pretty good success with the dill.
Yeah.
But anything like I've never had any luck growing cilantro from seed.
Yeah.
Rosemary, I do have one that's alive, but I've kept it in almost complete shade.
Yeah.
But some people say rosemary like just grows like out in full sun and does fine. I don't know what. I think me being in containers has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I think growing everything in containers has a lot to do with it. I'm being honest.
It loves
So
to be neglected in a way.
Yeah. It's
Bad
more
maybe
that
that's it.
It doesn't want
Mediterranean.
good. Yeah.
Not a
It
lot of
doesn't
good
want.
water, not a lot of
Yeah.
good soil.
Yeah.
But growing herbs from seeds can be a little bit tricky. I think the biggest thing to remember is most of them need light to germinate.
Okay.
Most of like even like basil seeds, most of them like light to germinate. So you just sprinkle them on top and just kind of press them in with your hand, or maybe put a little bit of perlite on top of them. But
Okay.
the majority of them need light to germinate. Some, I would probably say half of them maybe need cold stratification. So they need some cold temperatures, to germinate. Because that's the natural habitat for them is, they go through winters and they need some cold
Yeah.
temperatures to germinate. And the
Yeah.
light and some herbs are just like so difficult to even try to grow from seed, like rosemary. Rosemary is like, I have never been able to grow a rosemary from seed. So it's better to do from propagating,
Yeah.
to propagate it. Lavender's
Mhm.
hard to grow from seed.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lavender is a
I couldn't
super
keep it
hard.
alive. I could not keep it alive this spring. I had one. It was so
Yeah.
nice. The Spanish lavender.
Oh,
It was
I
so
love
nice.
it.
It smelled so good.
Mhm.
And it just didn't last very long with the heat. I guess that's what
Yeah.
it.
Also likes to be neglected,
And
Yeah.
I
but
couldn't even.
also it
I could,
wants to be
Super
sneezed at.
good drainage.
Yeah.
Super good drainage.
that was probably
And
my issue.
Okay.
they're hard. They're hard to, lavenders are hard to grow, especially with our heat and our humidity. So my strategy with lavender, because I must have it in my life, I must have it in my garden. Like I must have lots of it. So I usually get 2 years out of a lavender plant. Even
Oh, cool.
even Spanish lavenders, I usually get about 2 years. But every spring and every fall, I plant some new lavenders. I mean,
Oh.
that's just my strategy because I have to have it. And lavender's easy to take to propagate from cuttings. So
Is it
like you
really
could,
okay?
yeah, it's easy. Soft cutting propagation. So it's easy. So you can keep that one kind of going like that. But
Okay.
don't beat yourself up because we're not in
Oh,
England. You know,
Mm-mm.
we're
Or
not
France.
or France, we're not, we're trying to grow something that really don't like our climate a whole lot. So even the
Mhm.
Spanish lavender, which will do better for us than
Mhm.
the English lavenders, but
it's
yeah,
it, it's
herbs are herbs. Now, as far as you got me on my subject now, you might have to tell me to shut
oh,
up.
I
you're
love
good.
it.
No,
I
you're good. I
love it.
love it. No, I was just
I
gonna
am
say.
learning. I have no idea about lavender. This is
No,
awesome.
I was just gonna say my dad has like he gets every kind of variety of lavender you can, and he's had really good luck with his. And
Yeah,
he is if it doesn't survive getting water once a week, then I don't want it. And his
yeah,
do really well.
and his
And
do well.
so
Yeah,
and so that's the one thing he's really good at is herbs. And I think it's
yeah.
because he's not overwatering
You
them. I
know,
bet
yeah.
that's got to be what it is. I bet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
overwatering, and herbs like to be used. They
Mhm.
like to be cut, they like to be used. The more you cut them, the more they're going to grow, the more they're going to do better. They want to be
Mhm.
used. That's their
Yeah.
purpose. So,
Mhm.
that, and to me, I think herbs is the easiest thing there is to grow. There's no pest issues, there's no, pest problems. In fact, they're companions to our garden because they bring in pollinators and beneficials, and most of them are pest confusers. the pests to stay away
Yeah.
because they don't like the scent of them. So I don't know. I've always thought herbs was the easiest thing there is to grow if you can
I've
get them
always had great
started.
luck with my parsley
Yeah.
and oregano
Mm-hmm.
and basil, like,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure I like oregano goes nuts where I am, and so
Yeah.
does parsley.
Yeah.
Those two are just
Yeah.
like, you do your thing.
Yeah.
Rosemary's been a little troublesome for me. I think maybe I'm just too wet where I am, especially in the
Yeah.
summer with our 4
Yeah.
p.m. thunderstorms.
Probably.
And then the basil we just go through so much of. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
See,
love seeing
basil.
Destin's when I visited him. His flowers were unbelievable. Like
Oh God.
Oh,
oh
I
my
know the
gosh.
The
flowers
one,
are
the one smells
amazing.
like Fruit Loops. It smells like Fruit Loops when I water it. It smells so good.
It
It's,
does.
I think it's the holy or the Thai basil. It smells like Fruit Loops every time I water, and it's like, oh, I love this so much. And I just love watching the bees. I've got my neighbor has a beehive in his house. Like there's a hive of bees living in his house, and so they take full advantage of my basil. They love it. And honestly, since I've started growing more basil and more native plants, I have not had as much pest pressure.
Yeah.
I'll get waves of it here and there, but I think you're right about the confusion part of it. I think they
Yeah,
definitely
bring
get
in
thrown off.
the more beneficials you can bring in, attack the bad guys, and the better, the better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Yeah.
with herbs too, it's knowing the herb, just like the cilantro, just like different herbs like that. They don't like to grow in our heat. Chamomile does not like our heat and humidity. I can grow it in spring, I can grow it in fall, and then carry it over to spring and get blooms from it. But summer, it's dead. It's over with. Calendula does not like the heat, and so I think it's just knowing the herb, and knowing how to take care of it. And one other little tip on lavender: when you plant it, you can put gravel, like pea gravel, in the bottom of it,
Okay.
and then plant it, and that helps with some drainage there too.
Nice.
Just a little thing.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
that buffering, it kind of makes sense if it's Mediterranean, like rosemary and certain things like that. They like to be, because bougainvillea are Mediterranean, and they like to be abused. Like if people that have bougainvillea that aren't blooming, they're watering their plant too much. They like to be pruned back. They like to be used and abused. So it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
I may have to try some of that bonsai soil next year. Maybe see how that does. Like that. That might be a cool idea, just to maybe get some tests and see how that works.
I'm gonna have to get lavender now. This sounds awesome. Just
Dude,
I want to be able to walk out
it.
into my space and smell things and touch things.
I love it. And I use
garden.
it. I use lavender in so many different ways. I've got some honey infusing in lavender blooms right now that I'll be using for my teas, and we make lavender sugar cookies and lavender tea, and we use it. I use everything. We eat everything.
Love it.
We eat the
amazing.
weeds around here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nettle and everything. We eat them all.
That's fantastic. Well, what all you got in your garden right now? Like, what all do you have planted for? I guess we're all pretty much going into winter now. I mean, what do you have going on in the potager garden right now?
Oh, okay. I have, as far as the vegetables, I have broccoli, cauliflower, collards, turnips, rutabagas, celery, spinach, lettuce, cabbages, kohlrabi, chard. What am I missing? I don't know.
Chard.
You just haven't had chard cooked.
You lost me at chard, Tracy.
You
lost
just
me at chard.
don't know what you're
Swiss
missing.
chard is so good.
Chard is like spinach to me. It's kind of like a spinach.
It's got like an aftertaste. It's like a you can taste like the chlorophyll. You can taste like that. I don't know.
Wow.
Which is really good for you.
I'm sure.
Good for you. It's a superfood.
Well, and you mentioned collards, and Jason's like, oh, we have them collards. We eat them collards, and
we love collards.
My thing is, I like my greens. I like them raw. I like them out of the garden. I don't really like them cooked. Like I feel like when they get cooked, they get kind of nasty.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I have
you hadn't had. Have you had Southern collards before?
no, and apparently Texas
Okay.
isn't the South. Apparently,
Okay. Well, if you
Okay.
come to my house in March, we're having collards.
I love collard greens.
I
I'm
will
Oh
gonna
my
eat.
cook you
gosh.
some collards.
I will eat your collards. I will definitely do that.
If
You'll
you don't
love
like
'em.
them, you don't have to eat them, but you do
No, I
have to
will.
But if you
try
cook
them.
them,
Yes.
Tracy,
Well,
do you eat yours with a little bit of vinegar in them?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
me too. So
Yep.
good.
And a little
Like,
bit
so
of
good.
sugar. A little
Oh,
bit of
yeah.
sugar.
Ooh.
Take the
Wow,
bitter
okay.
out. Yeah.
And a ham hock stewed in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And bacon. Sometimes I use bacon.
see,
Yeah.
your sounds a lot better than Jason's sound. Jason was
Oh
like,
no,
Sounds so
I
good.
doctor mine up. I fix
Jason
mine up.
goes, Jason goes, I just put it in beef broth, and cook and boil it. I was like, that sounds terrible.
That's not
Oh
right.
no.
That ain't
Oh
right.
no, we add the fixins to it. We have collard and fixins.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you
Cornbread
gotta
too.
you
And
gotta church it up a
cornbread
little bit. You gotta
and
church it up a little
peas.
bit.
Oh yeah, black eyed peas.
Black
Those
eyed
are
peas
good. Yeah.
well, that's like
and a pork chop.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That sounds similar
See,
to on New
you're
Year's. We
selling
go
me
to
on
a
it
friend's
now.
house. We have Papa
Yeah.
John. Is
Yeah,
a dish they
Yeah.
make? Yeah, with black eyed peas.
yeah.
Papa
And then they
John's?
fry Hop and
Yeah.
John. And
Hop and
it's like
John.
how do you what? I don't know what's in it except for like there's like tons of black eyed
Black-eyed
peas.
peas and rice usually, right?
Yep.
See, Hop
Black
and
eyed
John?
peas, rice, and probably ham hock or bacon.
Yeah.
Dude.
And then we have
Yeah.
collards with back fat. And then
Yeah.
they do cornbread and they fry it in little discs and you can eat the Hop and John with the
Yep.
discs.
Yep. Man, y'all are killing me.
I
had
know.
a
I'm
piece of-
really.
I had chicken and
hungry.
couscous for dinner.
Oh.
This is
I
Hop and
had
John.
rice
There it is.
for
like
There it
that.
is.
bowls.
It looks like
It's good.
jambalaya, kind of.
It's
Or like,
good.
Black eyed
Mm.
peas and
Hmm.
maybe some tomatoes in there. And,
Yeah,
a glass
throw
of
in some
wine.
tomatoes. Mm.
Yum.
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 If
Yum.
y'all cook it, I will eat it. If y'all cook it, I will eat it.
Okay.
Oh,
We'll
hold
fix
me
you a
to
good
that.
old Southern dinner here.
I love it. I love it.
But I grew up too with beans and greens, and
Yeah.
we would either use escarole or you would use like Swiss chard, and it was just like garlic and
Jeans in the chat.
olive oil and kidney
Mm.
beans, and it's just that mix. And my dad was like, my dad always said this. He's like, you can just eat this, Phil. He's like, he'll put potatoes in it too. He's like, it has everything you need. It's like doesn't cost much, and it's really healthy for you. Just eat that.
Just eat
I was like,
that.
you got it.
That's all you need.
Phil is an eating machine, by the way.
Oh,
Like-
you can just
Yeah.
that.
He's got to put it in his muscles, I think.
I
Well,
do.
Where it goes.
it's probably that when you have kids, like I've heard that like you got I think you have 3 kids, right? Phil,
I got 3.
3, yeah. So like you're trying to eat and they're trying to eat, and like you just get like a little spoonful of macaroni in the process of them trying to get them to eat and all stuff like that. So when you're by yourself and you can actually enjoy yourself, it's probably like I'm gonna eat all of it like this.
Oh, and I get to sit down and eat them like standing up because everybody's like,
Yes.
I gotta go to the bathroom right now. I'm like, you do not. Here we go. Okay, everyone's going to the bathroom. Why is there more than one person in here? We're figuring it out. I'm like eating off my daughter's like little high chair.
Yeah.
But I've also gotten a text from Phil, and he's got a burrito the size of like his head, and it's like I'm about to eat this Chipotle.
Well,
I'm like, oh my
okay,
God.
yeah. I played in high school. I played 3 sports, one each season, and then in college I played lacrosse, and we had like workout packets, like we had all kinds of stuff, and
Mhm.
I would burn like 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day,
That's
and like
crazy. That's so
now.
nuts.
I remember like I would lose weight sometimes if I wasn't eating enough and stuff like, and
That's so
Yeah.
that's
crazy.
changed now. And
Yeah.
but I still surf a lot, and
It'll
going out
only
and
get
surfing, I could
worse.
rack up like I could paddle almost a mile in like an hour and a half or so out
Wow.
there with interval training.
And that's a full
Wow.
body workout with like standing up and like that's crazy.
Standing up, swimming. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have an ear infection right now because I got water stuck in my
Ooh.
ears, but
Oh no.
that's par for the course. But
Oh wow. Stick a garlic clove in there.
okay.
Really?
In your ear.
Seriously?
Draw it out.
Yeah. Just not jam it down your eardrum, but just
Oh,
don't do that.
my wife's
Phil.
gonna laugh at
Don't
that.
do
She's
that.
gonna hear that and be like, see, Phil, don't jam things down.
Put a garlic clove on there. Put like a something over it, and that'll help. Or mullen's really good for earaches. Mullein oil. Probably don't
take
have
some
that,
minced
but you
garlic,
probably got to.
jam it in there.
No, don't do that. Stick a clove right there.
I'll stick a clove in. I'm gonna try that. That's awesome. While I'm watching Shrinking tonight.
Well, I am much more convinced by like what you were saying than like some of these people who like with the crystals and all that crazy stuff. That makes more sense to me. Yeah, I knew you had it.
I'm a geologist. Of course, I have a rock with me. My black opal.
Oh my goodness!
I still
Hey,
have to
plant.
show you guys my rock collection.
You got a rock collection?
Oh my
yeah.
gosh! Next to my bed right now, it's been there. It's always there. I have a rose quartz this large on my nightstand.
Wow. Nice.
And that's only one of them, but I have like a huge collection of
I bet it's pretty.
rocks and crystals and things. It's beautiful. I love it. It's like it probably weighs about 5 pounds.
I do like the salt. Pounds. I like the salt lamps. They do give me a little bit of energy during the podcast. And then my
negative ions.
I'll be editing video and I look over, my dog's just licking. My dog would just be licking the salt. I'm like,
can't blame him. You can't blame him.
I mean, it's good stuff. I mean, I don't blame you either.
It's like if you I grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, but we would like sneak under the fences into like cow pastures and you trip over a giant salt lick.
I thought you were hungry. I thought you were trying to get something else at the cow pasture. I was like, what is he doing?
What?
No, we built a tree house over this river that was in the middle of this thing. Anyway, it was a thing.
Oh my goodness. That's funny, dude. Yeah, I made it very clear when I put those there. I was like, I've had lamps for a long time and I didn't have where to put them. I was like, I don't know what they're doing, but they look cool. And
they look very cool.
And it's a salt lick from that my livestock inside, it is. I was gonna ask. So y'all do bees. What do they do this time of year? Like, how does it work? Like, I've seen where people up north have to like insulate their beehives like for like the winter and stuff. Y'all don't have to do anything like that. Y'all just kind of let them chill. You feed them at all? Y'all do have to do any of that?
We don't, because we only harvest honey once, sometimes twice during the summertime. And then everything that they forage on from that point on, all through fall, all the goldenrod, everything that they forage on, we leave for them. And that's their honey stores. That's their food for the winter. And then all we do is like, we're going out there this weekend to inspect them, make sure everybody's all good. Nothing's happening that's not supposed to be. And then we'll close them up and we won't bother them again until spring. Now, about February, which is called the dearth period, because it's starting to warm up. They're starting to want to come out and forage. There's really not a whole lot to forage on. And by that point, they've used a lot of their food stores. So we will check them. And if they're out of honey, then we'll feed them a little bit of sugar water until things start blooming and start moving. But typically we don't have to. Yeah. They pretty much have enough. And we have, on our property is 9 acres of hardwood forest, old hardwood forest. We have creeks.
Wow.
We have,
that's nice.
we have plenty of source for them, right? Yeah. Plus farms and forest is all around us. So we really don't have to feed our bees. They're awesome. Pretty self-sustaining here. But a lot of people do have to feed their bees because they don't have enough source for them. So if you're going to keep bees, they've got to have food, especially during those dearth periods when nothing's blooming and they're wanting to forage. But basically, we got it pretty easy. We inspect them right before it gets cold, and then we shut them up. We don't open them up through the winter because then you break in their seal. They forage on pine resin and stuff, and they make a propolis, which is like a glue, right? Oh, wow. It's their glue. So they glue their hive up. They seal their hive completely up. If there's a hole somewhere, they seal it up. They lock it all down and seal it up. so that predators can't get in, and it keeps the hive warm. And then during the wintertime, they all kind of go to the middle, and that's where they all just kind of hover, and they kind of keep each other warm and all that jazz. So they take care of themselves around here.
That's
Have
so
you ever
cool.
seen the
Nature's so
people
smart.
that point an infrared camera at their hives over the winter just to see how warm it is in there? And
Yeah.
when they do, it'll be like really warm in the center of the hive where all the brood
Yeah.
and everything is. And then on the
Yeah.
outside, it's like it gets cooler and cooler.
That's
I think
so
And
that's
neat.
that's
so
usually where
neat.
they're at. They're in the
Yeah.
center of that.
They're
Yeah.
just like
So-
making their own heat in there.
They
I
do.
love
They
them.
do. And I think where a lot of beekeepers make a mistake is they go in and inspect them in the wintertime. I'm not saying
not.
don't do that. Everybody's different. Every climate's different. Every beekeeper's different. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I think where a lot of mistakes are made is you go in during the wintertime, you break their seal, you disrupt them, and you're introducing cold and predators and
agree.
everything else to
Just-
them. So we try to keep natural as absolutely necessary, and their natural environment and the way that they do and live. So we can do that though, because we live where they have a lot of resource,
Yeah.
Right.
a lot suburban beekeepers, and they don't have as many natural resources, and they have to do things like feed them and like really tend them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
they're
That's so
easy in the
interesting.
wintertime.
That's
Put
so
them to
neat.
bed. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so wild. No, I'd seen people feed them like pollen patties or put the sugar
Yeah.
water out. But
Yeah.
if they're gluing it shut, then it makes sense that you would not want to, until the dearth, like you were saying, that transition
Yeah.
period, so
Yeah.
that they don't have to exert all the energy to reseal
Mhm.
everything up. You
Yeah.
could lose some bees.
Well,
So-
and a lot of beekeepers take all of the honey, because they're
Yeah.
in the business of selling honey. So
Yeah.
they take all of their food stores. I'm not saying that's wrong. I mean, if that's your business, that's what you need to do. But then you do have to supplement them, and you have to feed them, because during the wintertime they have no food, so you have to feed them. But we let them have their honey, their
That's so
fall
cool.
honey. Yeah.
That's so neat.
I had a big hive that was my friend's. She, I don't know why this is, but so many beekeepers are actually allergic to bees.
Yeah.
And she's allergic to bees.
Isn't
And
Jean?
Jean's
Yeah.
allergic to bees.
Yeah,
Yes. And they hate him.
and she was mismanaging her hive, right? So we had a professional beekeeper move them from her house to my house, and she had like 6 supers on this thing, and it was so glued together, and the queen had gotten pretty aggressive, and oh my goodness, it was
Wow.
so full of brood. So we split that hive into 3 hives. We never
Yeah.
found the original queen, but we requeened the 2 smaller ones. And then
Okay.
we had that same professional beekeeper that, had, really harvested them for the honey. We were like, come get this aggressive hive. You can have everything and take it out to this acreage you have. And
Yeah.
she can be bossy all she wants over there.
Yeah, we
But
had one of those. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're mean.
So just like a bossy
They are.
hive.
Well, and
It's
every 6
aggressive.
weeks the hive can turn over.
Right.
Because like when you requeen the hive in about 6 weeks, they'll take on the attitude of the new queen. I know that sounds crazy, but so we were
Yeah,
hoping
sure.
that we could do that with this big hive, but I'm so urban that they were so aggressive that my boxer got stung, and we found out he was anaphylactic, and
Oh,
so we had to, I was like, oh crap. So we ended up taking the 2 smaller ones that we split and putting them back at her house, and they did great. And they weren't aggressive because we had requeened them, but the day that we had to requeen them and we were like digging through all this brood, a thunderstorm came through. It was a rainy day, which is the worst time to get into the hive.
worst.
And I got stung 3 times on the face. But I still was out there. I was still out there, and one of the most magical experiences I have ever had in my entire life, and I'm so jealous of you, Tracy, is just holding a frame of bees doing their business.
Yeah.
They're all in there, and you see them. You see all
I
these
know.
cells that have the babies in there, and they're all tending to them, and the honey cells, and you see the propolis, and you're breaking through all of that, and it's just so magical, the life of bees.
It really is. It's miraculous. And
It is.
so crazy. I mean, just bees are just magnificent. They really, really are. Just even down to the fact that they map out the course. So they map out how to know how to get back to which hive is their hive. They can travel up to 10 miles, come back and know where their hive is, and that you can see them. You can see the scout bees on the front of the hive doing this little dance, this little shaking their booty dance, and they're drawing a map to show how to get back to show the others how to get back to their. It's crazy.
That's insane.
It's absolutely insane. The life of bees, like you say, Des, is miraculous. Absolutely miraculous. I can just go.
Completely.
Sometimes I just drive over there and I just sit and just watch, and like life makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
it's like
crazy.
life is okay. Life is good.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen? I was watching this video, and I will share the link for it because I just looked it up. And I want to make sure I didn't make this up in my dream. But they have trained bees to detect explosives.
What?
This is a 16-year-old video, but they
What kind of
literally
dreams are you having?
No, it's so weird. It's so
Wow.
weird. It's from MIT. It's from MIT, and they'll I posted the link in the chat, but
well, it's all scent based, I guess. It's all scent based.
Wow.
Scent based, and
yeah.
they put them in this little package kind of thing, and they train them like when they're smell or when they're exposed to like explosive materials, they'll give them a little treat. And so whenever they show them to like, push them in front of an explosive material, they start sticking their tongue out like in front of it. And whenever they stick their tongue out, it puts off an alarm in this little system. It's really crazy.
Wow.
It's wild.
Crazy.
I saw it on TikTok. I looked the video up and I was like, wow, this is like it's from Los Alamos. It's from Los Alamos National Lab.
That's crazy.
Let's
Bees
see
are
that.
so cool.
They are so cool.
They also know about element 113 over there. So
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That's wild.
That's really neat. I love bees. My dad is a beekeeper too. He just got into it this year.
Awesome.
And he learned his lesson on, messing with other people's bees. I guess someone at work said they had a hive, and they're like, "Hey, if you want it, come get it." I haven't messed with them in like 5 years, but they're there. And so he suited up, and my stepmom was in the car and everything. And he's not allergic to bees, but he got stung so many times that he was starting to like just kind of not stroke out, but like go into anaphylaxis. He was in the shower and he's starting to get dizzy, and his eyes were starting to swell. It's like that. He must got like he was in the back of the truck as my stepmom was driving away, getting stung. That got inside of his mask, got his face. So I guess it had become Africanized or whatever, and like because it only takes like a couple bees to Africanize the whole hive. Like it can make him aggressive. Like I don't know how that works, but he got jacked up. Had to go to the hospital.
Different breeds too. There's different breeds of bees too. Like Italian bees are calmer, nicer bees.
It's because you're so full of pesto.
Russian bees. Russian bees are mean, aggressive bees. Like there's different breeds too. So
are you messing with us, Tracy, or is this?
No, it's real.
No, it's true.
That's real.
Have y'all
I'm gonna look at this later.
These are the Chernobyl bees. Don't mess with them.
Have you guys ever looked up the Hornet King?
No.
He has a YouTube channel, Hornet King. Guys, listen. Go
It's
watch
the
hornets.
craziest
more
thing.
The hornet.
Animals
gets
slash
after those
things we have to watch.
Giant
Dude.
hornet nests, the giant ones that look like something out of a cartoon.
Yeah.
And he will just be getting whacked by these bees and wasps and things that he deals with, bumblebees. And I just think you have to be a special kind of crazy person, a special variety of neurospicy to want to do that job and enjoy it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
enjoys it. I'm like,
wow.
dude, those hornets are mean.
Wow.
Mean.
believe
And
it.
he'll get in
Yeah.
there and he'll just get after them. I'm like, wow.
Hey,
don't know.
I worked with a friend of mine that I worked with. She had arthritis really, really bad, like rheumatoid arthritis. She had it super bad, like debilitating bad. I can't talk tonight. So she begged
If
me.
Gene was there, he'd be like, "It's rheumatoid." It's like he'd be yelling.
He'd be like, "Get it right." But she begged me to let her come over here and let her get stung by my bees.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, because the bee stings helps with arthritis. And I was like, I can't do that. I cannot do that because my luck, you would kill over dead. And then, I'm in trouble. I can't do that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't want to do that near a hive anyway, because if one stings you, then the rest smell it, and then you'll be stung more than that. And it's just a whole thing. Those girls are so smart. They
are. They are. I'm trying to teach my bees to be kind.
Be kind.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
and
all kind here.
it's so funny because like I've had the bees in my neighbor's house and they've been out there swarming, and it's like a tornado of bees outside, and I'm out there working in the garden, and they don't
won't
care about
bother you.
me at all. They're not aggressive when they're swarming. It's freaky, but like they're not. Like the only thing I worry about is like, oh, they're gonna find a way into my house. Like that was my thing. It's like
make your house their new home.
Are they like in his attic or something, or in their attic?
They're under the hardy plank, from where the hardy plank meets the brick.
Crud.
Yeah.
Is he not going to have them removed? I mean, that could get really bad.
He did at one point, or she did at one point, but they didn't do it right. And so if you don't get all of the material out, it can attract another, pheromones can attract another hive. So they're
Not
back.
to mention the fact that honey will become problematic at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What happened to my mom's house, actually.
But y'all were also talking about the wasp being super like aggressive, and I like the wasps, and I don't really, unless they're like in an area where I'm walking around like behind my back porch or whatever.
Yeah.
If they're out in the garden, I don't really mess with them anymore because I've seen how much good wasps can do in the garden. It's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
actually, that was
seen
you
my
guys
pet
that talked
wasp,
about
right?
that.
No.
When
you
said they were thirsty.
No.
What?
Your pet wasp?
I have a pet wasp right now.
What?
Oh, let's see it.
Okay.
He's alive, right?
Dude,
What's their name?
Yes. I haven't named the wasp, but this wasp has been coming and booping me every day. I'll just be sitting there. And this wasp, I finally was like, God dang, like, girl, what do you want? So I went in and I just got her a dab of honey on a lid. And then I've just been setting it down for her, and like she's been doing that, and then she'll just keep bothering me until I put the honey down. And the other day I was just holding the honey on the lid, and she was just on the lid.
Really?
I was yes. And so this has been going on, and my husband said, because I was
find a way to mark it so you know it's the same one.
He and the dogs were like knocking into the table, on the patio, and I was like, y'all need to chill. And he goes, well, maybe you shouldn't have a pet wasp on the table. And I was like, well, she adopted me. This is not my fault. He was like, we got a pet wasp. We got pet squirrels.
That's this video.
I don't know. Yeah, that one. Here I am.
That's funny.
The wasp whisperer.
Oh, she likes all that stuff.
I love bugs. I love insects. I love pollinators. I'm dorky about it.
Been an entomologist.
I know.
She kind of is. You got to see her collection.
Oh, I do have so
Now
many pendants.
I did see on TikTok. I saw your butterfly collections and stuff that you were doing.
Well,
Look at her
yeah.
earrings.
Oh yeah, I made these earrings. They're swallowtail butterfly wings.
Oh, cool!
The
And
actual wings.
Did you see my
yeah,
butterflies?
oh, ooh, I
Yeah,
love
I
them.
know.
Oh,
Oh, they're
yours
like
are
Abilene
cuter
earrings.
I knew they
though.
get along, dude.
Yours are
Like these are.
cuter.
Thank you.
Yours are
I
real.
started making
Yeah.
them
Oh,
recently, and I just love them.
seamless.
I decided I was gonna get all my stuff out and make them again, but like I laminated them and then I covered them in resin, and then I also have a big necklace of the same type of
Oh,
butterfly,
wow.
and then I've got
Those
some
should be
pinned
on my
behind me.
shop.
That's
Like
cool.
this is one of my favorite butterflies.
Right?
I have my husband found it in the yard and I pinned it, but it's a
Oh,
Gulf
wow.
fritillary butterfly, and I decided that I wanted to see its little self, so I pinned it backwards because most people put the wings
Yeah.
but I was like, look how
You
cute
want to
he
see his
is.
face?
He's so
That's so
cute.
cute. Oh my
He's
goodness.
Oh,
adorable. Yeah. I'm a
cute.
bug nerd. I cannot help myself.
Where do you even get those boxes from? Like on Amazon? Like the bug
Yeah,
boxes?
it's like a shadow box.
Shadow box.
Mm-hmm. I
Oh,
have a
that's
big
kinda cool.
collection
Oh.
of a collection of them, and then I just find a bug and then I pin it. I've got a bunch on my pinning board right now.
I need
I
that
have
for like my fossils.
Cool.
Right now, they're all in just like gallon bags, being like fossils.
I'll send you a link. I'll
I
text
need like
you
a
a link.
fancy box, being like fossils.
Yeah.
That's so
I
Do
neat.
you have
sometimes I pick up
kids,
me.
Des? Yeah. Do you
I
have
wish
kids?
I did. I wish
She got
I
a bunch of
did.
chickens.
Well, unfortunately, I actually lost a chicken and found out about it right before I got on this podcast.
Again, another one? Oh
Another
no.
one?
Yeah,
She's
her
got some
name was
old
Yoko.
chickens. She's got some
They are.
older chickens.
Yeah, I do
They've
too.
aged. They're aging out, and they're just not
Yeah.
doing well. And I think this one actually went of a broken heart because I lost one in early October.
Mhm.
When I was with Phil and Destin, actually, I found out right after we got off a live stream together. First time in person, all three of us together. And anyway, she and Yoko were very close, Lemonade and Yoko, and I just think she wasn't right ever since she
Yeah.
lost her. And she went on
Aw.
food strike. I kept trying to get her to eat. She didn't want to eat. I told her this morning, I was like, I love you. If this is your day, I get it. I'll miss you, but thanks
Oh,
for being my baby.
it's
Oh,
It's
hard.
okay. You know what?
it's a circle of life.
It
Yeah,
is.
and
It's
I
hard.
had an uncle. He was a chicken farmer. I always told myself I would never have chickens that I didn't treat like, a family member, and here I am. They break my heart, and it's fine. And we'll
Yeah.
see.
Oh
The
It's
my
house
goodness.
sad.
chicken is a little far, but it's okay.
Sad.
How old were they? How old are they, Des?
5.
So that's old for a chicken, isn't it? Like
Is that
how,
all
Yeah.
for
how
a
old?
chicken?
I mean, they can live up to 15 years.
Really?
But this is my very first flock, and it took me 5 years to lose them. So I feel like,
Yeah.
You
and
did
at
good.
a certain point, you can't just keep paying like astronomical vet bills, which I
For a
had
chicken.
done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even just for a chicken. It's just you have to realize that chickens are wonderful creatures. They're prey animals. There's a reason why, they're so valuable to us, and you just have to do your best. And I think it's been really eye-opening for me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
To have them and to lose them and to understand them better, and just to get to know that I have provided a really cool home for them for as long as I get to have them.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
Tweety
You
B
did.
is still in the house, and she's very spoiled.
Tweety B.
She's actually going to get a bubble bath and a blow
Oh
dry
my-
here soon. So
What?
Yeah, these her chickens live like most house cats. Like
Wow.
they
no,
get tra-
not
no.
all of them. Just
If you-
Chrissy.
yeah.
Don't be crazy.
If you can get a house cat to take a bubble bath, I will be very impressed.
She doesn't even know she's a chicken.
Oh, God. That's hilarious. Do y'all have chickens or you also have goats, Tracy?
We have chickens. We have goats. We have rabbits.
Oh, that's
I
right. I've seen
saw
rabbit
your
hutch.
rabbits. You were using
Yes.
the rabbit pellets for fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Because
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
have to rabbit pellets are not.
It's a cold.
They're
Yeah,
not
it's a cold
hot.
compost.
Yeah.
They're not a hot compost, so you can just use
Yeah.
them immediately.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
but
is why I want them.
let me tell you a lesson I learned though last year.
Uh-oh.
So all winter long, when I cleaned out my rabbit hutches, I just threw I have a pan that they have like a litter box, and I just threw it on my blueberries, right, or all around my blueberries in my blueberry beds. I have 9 blueberry beds, and I just threw them all in there. The blueberries did not appreciate that.
Hmm.
They did
Really?
not like all of that rabbit poop. So my blueberries struggled big time this year. And I know it was the rabbit poop. So,
Too much
I mean,
nitrogen.
too much. I mean, they would have been fine, with a little bit, but hey, I figured a lot's good. Little
wonder if
good, a lot's better, but it was not the case.
I wonder if it has to do like do they eat a lot of alfalfa? Like I wonder if it has to do with like their feed too. Like
Yeah, their
sure.
feed has some alfalfa in it.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I know some people that have rabbits and they love them because they're pretty laid back. It's during the summer when it's really hot and you have issues with them, like because they don't like the heat.
They don't like the heat. But
Yeah.
I have them in a real shady, cool spot. Yeah, they got it made.
Do you have different types
I
of
love
rabbits,
me
or do you just have
bunnies.
like
I do. I have
Okay.
New Zealand. Let's see, is a hop.
Those are the big ones,
Holland.
right?
I have Holland, a New Zealand Holland. No, what is it? It's a Holland.
Holland Lop?
Holland Lop. I have one of
Holland
those.
Lop.
That one was given to me, and she is my baby. Her name's Rosemary.
Oh, no.
And I have
Look at
Enoch's here getting rabbits. My
on
coworker just
with
got
him
a
last
Flemish
weekend.
giant.
That's like a house cat. Like that's huge. Those
Yeah.
are
Apparently, apparently it's Jagundo.
Whoa.
I had a big old bunny named Snowball. Huge unit bunny. And she was white. She would jump in my lap. And then when she was done with me, she would jump out of my lap and scratch the crap out of me. And I also had a Holland Lop too, little.
Yeah.
Are these meat rabbits, Tracy?
No.
Bunny.
These are compost. These are compost makers, and they just make me happy.
That's what someone said. One rabbit is a surprisingly large amount of poop, or a surprising amount of poop from one rabbit.
A large,
Have you thought about putting them in a rabbit tractor, like a chicken tractor for rabbits? I've seen that. I love that.
I did that a little bit. I have a chicken tractor that we made, and I've taken them out of their cage and put them in there so they could really run around, and get good exercise. And we did move them in the garden a little bit. Yeah. We've done that. Excellent. But I can't leave them in there because it's not secure enough for.
Right.
I mean, I could if we fixed it better, but yeah, my chicken tractor's not really secure. They can dig out of it. Rabbits are diggers.
Yeah.
So
they sure are.
They'll dig out of it, and then I would be devastated.
Yeah.
You would have to put like hardware cloth in the bottom or something like that if you did it.
Yeah. Yep.
I was laughing at this when she commented this. I found a lizard last week while I was making a raised bed. I put it somewhere safe in my garage and it hatched yesterday. I found out lizard eggs actually grow bigger after they're laid. Oh, so they swell?
Oh, well, because they're soft shells, right?
Yeah.
So as the lizard grows, it kind of stretches it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I don't know if I told this story or not. I was moving my cannons where they were at, so I was kind of going through, and I put them in like a little 2x4 raised bed that I made so they wouldn't spread like crazy. And they moved surprisingly well. They didn't dig that deep. But when I was doing it, that's like we call it Lizard City. My greenhouse turns into
Lizard City.
My greenhouse turns into Lizard City during winter, but during the spring and summer when everything's open, Anna's were Lizard City. And so I was up there digging them out, and I found little eggs, when I'm pulling stuff up, and I know what they are. They're either gecko or anole eggs. And so I picked it up, and I was barehanded, picked it up, and it hatched in my hand.
Wow.
Yeah, yes, I had the egg in my hand, and I could feel it Like it's
Oh,
so soft. And I was
wow.
reaching in my pocket for the phone, and the egg exploded, and this little tiny lizard came out in it. And I was like, oh, it's just so gross. I was like, oh
No.
god.
Imagine
It was
experiencing
like,
the miracle of
You
oh
didn't
my
do like a
god.
life and you're
Jurassic
like,
Park
gross.
thing, and you're like,
What?
oh,
I was like,
Oh,
oh.
So
I was like, what's in
cute.
my hand?
That's adorable.
wow.
That is something I wish I had gotten on camera, because that would have been so
Man, that's
funny. That would
not
have been
something
so
that
awesome.
happens every day right there.
No, I mean,
I know.
I can go literally find eggs anytime I want to find them, but like they don't hatch in my hand very often.
That's cool.
are they
Oh my
anoles?
goodness. Yeah, I have mostly like the Carolina anoles, the green ones that turn brown, and then I have the Cuban anoles, which are like brown and kind of scary. And then we have geckos. We have a little, geckos and skinks.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
Yeah,
a lot of
we get the
skinks too.
blue-tailed.
I have a
Skinks.
Texas spiny lizard, big old lizard,
They
lives
get
in my
wild.
greenhouse.
Really?
And yes, and every time I go in there, there's like the panic of the century out of this lizard. And every time I'm like, girl, I'm not gonna bother you. I literally
Yes.
love that you're living in here eating all my pests. I will leave you alone. I just need my shovel or whatever I'm going after. And it is a mess. I mean, and it's like all banging all over the walls of the greenhouse and all up in the shade
Oh,
cloth in there,
man.
and just knocking things over, and just literally
You're like,
you've
okay,
never
I'm
seen
leaving.
such
I'm
a
leaving. I'm
freak
leaving.
out. I know. I'm like, sorry.
Oh, dude.
I'll get out of your house. I'm out of here.
It won't be long and it'll be eating bugs out of your hand.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah, right.
probably.
That's a great.
I've definitely, it might be the one. I had one in here. We found it under the couch cushions outside because we had a cold snap, and they didn't have time to go brumate under the leaves, because lizards are they're different than like turtles. Anyway, this can devolve into some stuff here, but turtles will go underground in the winter and they will come up when it's warm. Whereas lizards will go under the leaves, and if you have a warm day, they'll come back out and then they'll go back under the leaves. They're not in a full hibernation. And so I found this lizard. We had a random freak cold snap, and it was underneath the patio cushion. Luckily, I saw it before somebody sat on it. Well, then I brought the lizard in the house, but then it was too cold to go back out the house.
Yeah.
So then I had a terrarium. This terrarium had a lizard in it for like the whole winter. And
Yes.
then we had to release the lizard in the spring. And that lizard did not like me very much, to be honest, and I don't blame them at all.
It's crazy when I see people on TikTok or Instagram and they have these relationships with these giant like iguanas and stuff like that, and I was like,
Yeah.
I have not met one lizard that liked me. It was like, what are you doing in my garden? Like that's how they like, because they're like Enoch was saying, they do a ton of good in the garden.
Oh, I love them.
I've also seen them eating blackberries. They go after blackberries and they take that little mouse and they go mush them up. It was like
really?
Good for them.
yes, 100%. Yes, dude, I'm telling
They
you.
will. They'll eat blackberries.
They'll mush them. They mush it
yeah,
it's for the water. It's for the moisture.
Oh,
it's just like most stuff. It probably tastes good too. But yeah,
Well,
lizards are wild.
Enoch says I wish I had lizards in our alleyway gardens to help with the bugs. But don't you also have an outdoor cat, Enoch? They eat
Yes.
those lizards.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is another thing. Everything eats everything.
Yeah,
Like,
it does.
Going back to the wasps. Like I was there
guys.
and I told the story before. I was going live on TikTok and I was checking out my dill, and I had swallowtail caterpillars all over it. And that's fine. I grow extra dill for that. And literally, as I'm live, here come the red wasps, and they swarm in like just like an Air Force, like fighter jets.
Yeah.
And they come in and they stab into the freaking caterpillars.
Oh yeah,
and like
definitely.
gut them, and the green stuff oozes out, and they just fly off with the carcasses.
Yep. Yeah,
and they
sure
don't stop until every single one of those caterpillars was dead. Like
Yep.
I literally sat there within 10 minutes. They must have killed 20, 30 caterpillars. It was insane. It was gory. It was disturbing
Like
to
a
watch.
horror movie.
It was a little upsetting watching it. It was like, honestly,
Yeah.
it was,
I actually have had my heart broken by wasps eating my butterfly caterpillars, to be honest. I have literally had a visceral reaction to this. Like
Yeah.
I literally see the caterpillar on the vine and I'm so excited to see it. And then the dadgum wasp comes in, just picks it right off of there. And then just doesn't even, it has the audacity to sit next to you sometimes and just eat the butterfly
honey out of
caterpillar. Yeah. But then
it comes and eats honey out of your hand.
Yeah. And then
The same wasp.
The same wasp. But then also I've had them come into the garden and in front of me decapitate a hornworm and eat that right in front of me. And then I'm like, well, that's fine then.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You know, but also I will allow a hornworm to live if it's this long because I'm like, well, any damage you were going to do, you already did. You might as well go on and be a moth or whatever.
Right.
And
yeah.
Wasps are great, actually. You know, like even the parasitic ones that eat the hornworms for you from, you know, their little larvae.
Oh, yeah.
Which I've seen before too, which is so cool. It's so freaky cool.
It is.
Sorry. Don't get me going about bugs.
You're good.
I'm like Tracy about herbs.
I honestly had not looked to the top left like this entire time, and I realized we're over an hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. It's past Phil's bedtime.
Wow. Time goes by so fast.
I know. At a certain point, we're gonna have to start this podcast at 6, so that we can just go for 2 hours or whatever. But real quick, Des, let everybody know what you got going on, what you got coming up, where they can find you.
Hello. I am actually going to go back to working on the vegetable garden here soon now that it is cooling down and I don't have as much going on. So I will actually finally be posting about that. I'm hoping to get out there and do some stuff this weekend and I will show you all of my shame. I'm very excited about it.
I'm so happy for you.
I am definitely going to be talking a lot about how you should be planning to start a garden right now. There's never been a better time to do it. I want to really push the idea that you can grow, that it's always a net positive. The more people that are growing, the better the planet will be. And we're going to talk about bugs and pollinators a lot. So anyway, hope to see you there.
Love it.
Fantastic. Des, I knew you and Tracy would hit it off. Y'all could probably start your own weekly podcast at this point.
We could. We'll just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, thanks as always, Des. We really appreciate you.
Nice
Phil.
to meet you finally.
So nice to meet you. I really enjoyed meeting you.
You too.
Phil, let everybody know what you have coming up and where they can find you.
What do I have coming up? I have fig cutting season coming up, and that I probably won't be until December when we start getting some freezes for Saplo to stop. But I'll do my big fig cutting sale all winter long. So
your fig extravaganza.
Sure. Yes, actually, the fig extravaganza all winter long.
Love it.
That's awesome.
That's what I have going on right now. I was like, life was going on so much, and now that we've kind of simmered down, and I'm easing into the winter. My wife bought a bunch of candles. We got candles going. We got like Christmas music starting to creep into our lineup.
Oh, nice.
Guitar. We're leaning into daylight savings.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm dreading daylight savings. I'm literally coming home at lunch and doing gardening on my lunch break because I can't get anything done.
I know.
No greenhouse talks, Phil, nothing like that. Nothing coming up.
No, we just had I'm not presenting. The Planty College, Gabriella spoke at our last meeting, and she actually talked about natives. So I didn't shout out to her because she covered some good topics on that. But we have our potluck in December, so we don't have a speaker then. It's just a great time to connect, and then the new year, and then the year's almost over, which is bizarre because
this year is flown by, dude.
Crazy. Crazy.
And philsfigs.com, we got the hats for sale. Hats and shirts.
These are awesome. They float in the ocean.
You found that out?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
But they're great. And they wick moisture pretty well, and I'm a fan. Your logo came
fantastic.
Out good.
It is a great hat. I can definitely verify. I have one. It's black. I love it.
Oh, I need to get one.
I don't even have one. I don't even have one. I'm holding Phil's underwear as hostage. I'm not going to give it back to him.
I have a gift for Destin that is not my underwear that inadvertently left at his house when I stayed there.
Thank you, Susie.
I have
Susie, by the way, I'm in Austin.
Thanks for clarifying that, Phil. I
yes,
was wondering
yes.
what was going on here.
Well, after Figtour the only thing left, I was going through Phil's, in the office where he was sleeping. I was like, oh, my house feels so empty now. And I go to the guest bathroom, and the only thing left was a pair of boxers hanging on the hook. And I was like, well,
Phil is never gonna live this down.
Never.
Poor guy.
He gave me permission to throw them away. I threw them away.
Throw those away.
I threw them away.
Why do you still have them?
I threw them away. I didn't keep them.
No, I know.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you as always, brother. Thank you as always, brother. Tracy, thank you so much for coming on. We always love having you on. We're going to get you on probably in December, January, whenever Greg and Jason are available. Talk like spring gardening, spring seed starting, like that. But let everybody know what you got going on and what you got coming up and where they can find you.
Okay, so justdigitfarms.com, Just Dig It Farms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the things. I'm trying to figure out X right now and get on there maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But we have a website, justdigitfarms.com.
I'll put the link in the comments.
Yeah, we just launched our online shop where we're selling honey, goat's milk soap. We've got a really cute shirt. We're going to be adding things to that. I'm working on formulating some herbal products to sell on there as well. And our YouTube channel is all about garden design, which is my background. Garden design, inspiration, education, grow food, grow plants for pollinators, grow fruits, grow herbs, grow all the things, garden for health, for sanity, for joy.
Love it.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For love.
I love it.
For love.
And just because.
Yeah, and for friends, for friendships.
Yeah.
I mean, if I wasn't a gardener, I wouldn't know you wonderful people. So, yeah, gardening connects us to so many beautiful people, and I love it.
I love
Yes,
it. I love
agree.
it. Yeah, and you've really been focusing, looks like, some time on TikToks and like short form. So it looks like you've been really doing a lot more of that too lately.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So
a
lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
We always appreciate you coming on. I put links for your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube, all the good stuff, your website. So you're welcome back anytime. Everybody, I don't have any events coming up, and I'm so very happy about that. I'm on hiatus till February.
Good.
So I did a whole month and a half.
Take a break.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for more content. You're focusing more on short form. I'm focusing more on long form right now, trying to get the best of both worlds. So thank y'all very much for being here. Thank you everybody in the chat for hanging out. We do the garden party every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We go live, so come on anytime. I have not missed a week in over a year. I will never miss, even when I'm on vacation in a casino, I will go live. So, but thank y'all so much. I appreciate it, and we will see y'all next week. And I think we're talking to Trey from Leg Creek Farms, and so we're talking about winter and fall fruit tree plantings. That's gonna be fun.
Nice.
So
nice.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank y'all so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye. Everybody.
All right.